International Women's Day is an opportunity to highlight the talent, intelligence, and invaluable contributions of women in all fields. But beyond the celebrations of March 8th, it is essential to remember that the recognition of these achievements should not be occasional. If we still need this day to affirm that women have their rightful place in science, progress, or leadership, it is a clear sign that there is still work to be done. This International Women's Day, we are reminded that gender equality is not just a women's issue, it's a human issue that impacts us all. When we create environments where women can thrive, whether in the classroom, boardroom, or laboratory, our entire society benefits. By encouraging young girls to pursue their dreams, supporting working mothers, and promoting women leaders as role models, we unlock the boundless potential of half our population. Among other inspiring figures is Carolyn Bertozzi, a brilliant scientist who received the 2022 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for her groundbreaking research in bioorthogonal chemistry. Dr. Carolyn Bertozzi's remarkable journey began with an undergraduate degree in chemistry from Harvard University, followed by a PhD at UC Berkeley. Her postdoctoral research at UC San Francisco explored how cell adhesion contributes to inflammation. Bertozzi joined the UC Berkeley faculty in 1996 and became a Howard Hughes Medical Institute investigator in 2000. In 2015, she moved to Stanford University as a founding faculty member of ChemH, an interdisciplinary institute bridging chemistry, engineering, and medicine for human health. She currently serves as the Baker Family Director of Stanford ChemH. Working in a male-dominated field, Bertozzi was the 8th woman to earn a Nobel Prize in chemistry and the only woman awarded in the sciences in 2022. That year, she and another researcher became the first openly LGBTQ+ people to earn a Nobel Prize in the sciences. While Bertozzi's achievement is remarkable, it also highlights an unfortunate reality. There has been a notable increase in female laureates since the turn of the century, with 35 women honored by the Nobel Foundation since 2001, more than double the Nobel Prizes from the period 1976 to 2000. However, women are still underrepresented among Nobel Prize laureates, comprising only 12.4% of those honored between 2002 and 2021. During an interview at the 2022 Nobel Week in Stockholm, Carolyn Bertozzi candidly discussed the barriers she faced as a woman and LGBTQ+ member in science. She replied, "I don't know what my experience would have been had I been male, or had I not been a queer person. I can say that being a minoritized person in science has its challenges regardless of the minority group. When I was a student, there were people who were actively hostile to women in chemistry in particular. Organic chemistry also has a historical culture that was not particularly welcoming of women." This quote highlights the challenges women face in organic chemistry, which is historically not welcoming to women, implying cultural biases about their abilities. Bertozzi continued to shed light on the obstacles, stating, "And when I was a PhD student, women were a minority. Maybe 1 out of 10 graduate students in my program was female. I was the only woman in my lab. Most women were the only women in their labs. And I noticed actually that it was challenging for these women because the men in our labs often looked at the women as dating prospects. The interesting thing is the men did not look at me as a dating prospect because I'm a gay person." These personal accounts poignantly illustrate the explicit and implicit biases women in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math, also called STEM, have faced, from cultural stereotypes about their abilities to being reduced to personal traits rather than professional merits. One major barrier is the structural challenges women face in STEM careers. Inflexible, long work hours make achieving a healthy work-life balance extremely difficult, especially for working mothers. The rigid tenure-track system also punishes taking career breaks for parenting, hindering many women's ability to advance. Implicit biases and stereotypes also hold women back. From a young age, cultural biases suggest women are less skilled in these fields. These biases persist, leading to women's qualifications being unfairly scrutinized more heavily during hiring and promotions compared to men. Educational and institutional barriers also create hurdles. The lack of female mentors and visible role models in STEM fails to inspire and encourage young women. Female researchers also face systemic disadvantages like longer publishing delays and receiving less research funding than their male counterparts. Broader cultural factors play a role too. For centuries, women were systematically shut out from participating in scientific pursuits. Even today, media perpetuates the stereotype of a scientist as an older white male, undermining women's belonging. Despite facing such barriers, Bertozzi remained steadfast in her commitment to fostering diversity and inclusion in science. As she explained, "I've had very good gender balance in my lab, and I've worked to recruit people from other underrepresented groups, people who might have historically been excluded from the sciences in the United States. This might be people of color, also people who are gay identifying or queer identifying. People have asked me many times over the years, what was the recipe for success for you in your lab? It was very simple. It was diversity. Now, I think being recognized with a Nobel Prize is the best validation I could ever have to reflect on the power of that diversity." Indeed, as was mentioned earlier, Carolyn Bertozzi's pioneering contributions were recognized with the highest honor in her field, as she shared the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the development of click chemistry and bioorthogonal chemistry with Morton Meldal and K. Barry Sharpless in 2022. Barry Sharpless and Morton Meldal independently discovered the first click reaction, the copper-catalyzed azide-alkyne cycloaddition. Copper being toxic to living cells, Bertozzi modified this reaction to produce a copper-free version, allowing her to track molecules called glycans on cell surfaces without harming living cells. Bertozzi introduced the concept of bioorthogonal chemistry, chemical reactions that occur in cells without affecting their normal processes. Using her strain-promoted click reaction, she could visualize glycans with a green glow following their movement within the cell. This pioneering work has enabled researchers to study biological molecules, identify new drug targets, and develop clickable antibodies to target cancerous tumors. Bertozzi's innovations exemplify the power of diversity in driving scientific progress and improving human health. By celebrating the achievements of pioneers like Carolyn Bertozzi, winner of the 2022 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, let us commit to creating an inclusive environment where all brilliant minds can thrive and push the boundaries of knowledge. Let's ensure that every woman can grow in a space where her skills are recognized at their true value, not just one day a year, but every single day. It is only through true inclusion and equity that we will be able to tackle the great challenges of our time and build a better future for all. So, let's celebrate women pioneers in STEM while also committing to removing the remaining barriers. Small acts of support, mentorship, and advocacy add up to create meaningful change. Let's take a moment to reflect on how each of us, in our own way, can contribute to this essential mission.